finally figured out what the problem was with my constantly leaking out the overflow tube, and it was this bleeder. There's two O-rings, one big one around the outside and then one smaller one on the inside. Just over time wears out. So I bought a new one. It's OEM Porsche. And what I noticed, the center O-ring that's inside here is way thicker than the original one. So you really have to crank these screws down, but I'm worried about stripping them. So I put them as tight as I could, not as tight as I could, but I put them really tight, and then I ran the car for a while and let it get up to temp, like over 180 roughly. And then I torqued them down more. It took me like several times to go around and tighten them all up. They seemed like they kept getting looser and looser. I guess that washer maybe heated up and it gave in a little bit when after I started the car, because I noticed it was really loose after I ran it for a little bit from the heat. So then now that's all down all the way tight. If it's loose, it'll leak around the outside, and it also could leak down that tube like it was doing if it's not tight. That tube right up there. You can see that, but you can see the floor was dripping everywhere until I got it tightened the second time. And I don't know why, but it seems like every time something goes bad on my car, it's always in twos. So originally I replaced that, and I didn't think that was the problem. But the problem was when I installed it, it wasn't tight enough. So I went on to troubleshoot the next item, since I didn't think that fixed it, which it actually did. But I went and opened up the thermostat, and what I found is the thermostat had a problem with it and wasn't working properly either. So it was two things that were bad on the vehicle, which is kind of weird. But that's how it seems like lately. Every time things happen on this car, it's in. I had a problem with it. I couldn't fill the fuel in there at the same time the brake switch seemed to go. I've seen two codes, for one for the air leak for the fuel to try to fill it up, that issue, and then also so the next project, now that I got this all taken care of, is to verify the fluid level in the transmission. And I got these pans off and I cleaned them up, the brace and all that one on the other side too. They were so dirty. Seriously considering, since I have it all apart, to clean these up. It's really dirty. This sway bar makes an enormous difference. I would think, if I had to guess, I think this setting here that it's in now, it's the least tension, is maybe a little bit stiffer than stock. But as soon as you move it to the next hole, the middle one, I never had it in the far right hole. I had it in this middle one before. Wow, this car handles like really, you can feel really responsive. But for a road car, I don't really like that. It's just too tight. So I put it in that other hole there, which definitely makes it feel a little bit better than the stock. So on to the next project. The other thing I want to do is I use this stuff on the car. It's really good and it's cheap. Walmart, but for something so cheap and works so well. Now when I clean the car, you don't even have to use soap anymore. So I'm going to do the wheels. I never did the wheels on my vehicle. So that's what I'm going to do next. That's the next project. Do them. They're really dusty now. Also, the auto parts stores, a lot of auto parts stores, I'm never buying antifreeze from a dealership ever again for any of my German, Japanese, American vehicles. They have so many different types now. And you can see right here is clearly for Audi, Mercedes-Benz, VW, and Porsche. A lot of people say don't buy the 50-50, but it makes it so much easier to know exactly that you got a 50-50 mixture. Once you drain it all out and it's all empty, you fill it up like this,
you can guesstimate and fill it back up, but it's just so much easier. It's kind of silly you say you're buying half water, but I do it the easy way, and this is not that expensive anyways. Compared to the dealership, they sell it, but they don't sell the 50/50. But I bought the one for Toyota for my truck from the dealership. Big mistake, should have never did that, and that was a ridiculous price for that. This thing holds roughly, I think it's 4 gallons, and I drained it. I drained out a good 3.5 gallons. I didn't really drain the front radiators or anything like that. But I'm guessing it's around 3 gallons that I got out, maybe more. I don't know how much would be in the front, but it seems like a lot. When I took off that the plug underneath the water line, and then also taking off the water line off the housing for the thermostat, a lot of fluid came out of there. I think it's pretty level, so I don't know I don't think the back's lower or drained out more. A lot of people saying that you should raise up the front, but it didn't seem like I had to. Came gushing out of there. And this is the S model, so it has a center radiator in the front in here, and I'm surprised because it doesn't get much air in there. Because it's pretty tight fit the way I have it in there now with this body on there. But the car never overheats. It runs pretty regularly at 180, maybe 185. Yeah, probably more like 185. Probably just enough for the thermostat to open. I was thinking of putting a lower one on there, like a 160, but I don't really have a problem. And then it might be a problem with the car heating up. But yep, hope you enjoyed it. See you all later. So I'm having a little problem with my car. The water constantly running out of the overflow tube. So at first I thought it was a bleeder valve on the coolant tank on my Porsche Boxster, and I thought that was letting water bypass past it and force it out there, but it wasn't that. So the next culprit is the thermostat. It's not anything with a head gas or anything like that. There's no mixing of fluids and oil, and there's can't see no activity moving around with the water in the coolant tank. When I take the bottle cap off and I run the car, I can't see any activity or anything, but I just see constantly. So what I noticed when I first took this out of the car, this little part here was all the way down there and sealing around there, as it should be cold. So I did a test. I heated up of water in the microwave, used this little thermostat, heat up to 180, and this thing never moved at all. And what it looks like when I get really like a magnifying glass, it looks like there's stuff on this shaft. And the second thing is, to me, it looks like that shaft is bent to the left. Another reason, it seems like that's a problem. So how I got this to move up there is I heated the water up 220 degrees and it finally moved up, but now it's stuck because now it's only room temperature 68 degrees. There's no reason at 68 degrees that this thing should still be all the way up there with this fully seated down in the pin. Why there should be a big gap there, even if this part here was pushed down in there. So I took off the one brace from here all the way over to there because I'm going to go check the transmission fluid level, and that would have been really good if I didn't have to take all this apart to verify my fluid level. So I took this brace off and I want to clean